Ah, oh, ah.
as the kids say.
Hi, it's your boy, Tyler, the Passionate Gamer. How are we doing today? You're a beautiful person with a charming personality.
You're a beautiful person with a charming personality.
What the fuck was that song? That was Neil Cicierega's Who? Yo, Train Express, Grey Wolf TM, Crackhead Jones, Lint. The Lint 146. We got Buddy Connor 331.
Hello everyone, it's
resub.
YA Boy, Linto Man.
Yeah.
It's been 61 months since I became a Tyler subscriber and my life has never been the same since.
Better or worse? Let me switch.
Hey Tyler.
Yo. Hey, I'm going to switch the on-screen chat from YouTube to Twitch because I'm going to be real. YouTube chat sucks ass. Y'all gotta learn to behave.
Long live Artifact.
I forgot to do it, and so we're changing it over. If you want to be seen on screen, go over to Twitch. We have better moderation there, and people aren't going to be as stupid. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Redacted Alex, how you doing? It's your boy. We haven't streamed in a little while, and that's because I actually took a break. I decided that it's like, there's no reason I need to tell you that I'm taking a break, but I took a break. I wanted to take a break. I needed to take a break. So I did the thing, and I took a genuine break. I haven't sat at my computer in a week. I didn't sit at this computer at all for like a week. And through that time, you know, I was able to do that because during the not E3, the P4 streams that we did, I made more money than I normally make in an entire month of AdSense just through Super Chats. So streaming to YouTube obviously is a good thing to do. So we're doing both. Obviously, we're dual streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Thank you for these subs, by the way. Thank you for them coming to bake.
Half-Life 3 imminent any day now.
Yeah. So yeah, I took a break. Gloveman calling out what I've been doing during this break is playing Persona 3 Reload on my Steam Deck. I don't have children yet, so I can do that. Shout outs to all you with children that would never be able to play a JRPG all the way through. Especially one by Atlas. But yeah, I'm playing Persona 3 Reload and fucking loving it. I've got to say, Persona 3, I've played Persona 4, I've played Persona 5, I never played 3. I was glad they remade it, but I never found the time to play it. I don't think 3 is my favorite, but I really, really like it a lot. It's been a fun game, and I'm 45 out. My mic sounds a bit strange. Check your settings. Let's see. 45 out. My mic sounds a bit strange. Check your settings. No, that's how it's supposed to sound. Never played them. Yeah. So on the surface, I guess I'll talk about Persona here for a second because that is the game I'm playing. I'm 45 hours into it. For those that have played the game, I'm on floor 113 in Tartarus. The summer break ended. We're getting ready for the Culture Festival. A typhoon just hit. The skinny punchy guy, just got his old friend that wears the pea coat back into the group. There is a talking dog. There is a robot made to look like a girl my age in the game. There is the daughter of the richest man on Earth. And then there's just this guy who's really insecure and fell in love with a ghost. Did I lose weight? I did. I've been going to the gym every day. Yeah. What's the best one to start with since each one has like 3 versions? Okay. So if you're playing Persona 3, just play the remake, Persona 3 Reload.
I got a 99-cent 1-week Amazon Prime trial and was able to drop a Prime sub with it. Infinite money glitch.
Yeah, that's because I get paid $4 for a thing that you spent 99 cents on. Dude, that's sick. Everybody go do that. No, yeah, so Persona 3 Reload is the remake, and it's great. It's so good. Okay. Even so, I don't know how to put it into words. It's like some dog shit. It looks like a dog shit anime game. It looks like some cookie cutter, like kind of creepy ass looking thing. But it's like, it is not at all that. It is the definition of do not judge a book by its cover, right? It looks like it's going to be some dumb shit anime melodrama that has no substance whatsoever. And it is anime melodrama, but it is the most like polished, like you've probably heard this. Persona music is just so fucking good. The music that plays through the whole game is just like, what the hell?
I never felt like
just I can't even put into
What
words.
are the chances of Valve announcing Half-Life 3 at my cousin's birthday party?
I'd say you got a 2% chance.
It's gonna be at Chuck E. Cheese.
Like so miserable. Last forever. Like, even if you don't like JRPGs or the game at all, this music has no fucking reason to go so hard, man. Like Jesus Christ. So, okay, I can't put into words why this game is good, because it's weird. It's creepy at times. There is multiple... Okay, so these are high school students, but they're not, but also they're, like, the saviors of the world, and, like... and, like, in Persona 3, you summon your persona by shooting yourself in the head, which you do get used to, but it takes a little while to get used to that. That, like, one of the girls in the game is like, Persona! And it's just like, okay. And, okay, so, like, it's a social life simulator. It is a Japanese teenager social life simulator mixed with what if modern Pokemon was good? That's the game. And the whole point of the game is you have to build your relationships with the people around you in order to strengthen your bonds with the creatures you collect, as the relationships are representative of different arcanas within the tarot, and the personas, the creatures or whatever, are also representative within those. So you have to make sure that you maintain social relationships in the day-to-day, so that when you go into the dungeons to save the world, your higher power beings that you have control over as a team are strong enough to be able to take on the demons that are trying to kill humanity. And so, like, within 10 minutes of each other, you'll be talking to, like, you as a teenager are trying to convince an 8-year-old girl not to run away from home because her parents are abusive towards her. And then the next minute, you're finding a bikini costume to put an 18-year-old on your team in, so that they can upgrade one of their stats to take down a being who is controlling humanity and also exists as a head on a couch. And also there's a talking dog who can also control these creatures and is the best fucking character in the game. But he's not a talking dog. He's a dog that is voiced by a Japanese man going, arf, arf. But for some reason, all the characters understand what this dog is trying to say. It is a fucking fever dream. It's 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 it, it's let me put it this way. Video game Donkey hates anime and turn-based combat, but loved Persona 5, a turn-based combat anime RPG. It's just so slick. It's so polished. Everything is so, like, the UI is so well done, and the music is fantastic, and the combat mechanics are, like, surprisingly deep, and the way that you find and summon and fuse creatures to create new creatures and build the social relationships with the people around you and like learn crazy things about everybody's personal lives and then help them in their personal lives and like Jesus Christ. Like I'm not a big anime guy anymore. I haven't been for years. But this, it's like, it's on a different level. It's really hard to describe. Most anime video games out there, you know, like your Tales of Symphonia and like just the cookie cutter shit that like, okay, Xenoblade Chronicles. I hate that shit. I tried it. I can't get into it. It's weird, it's creepy, and it's not good. Persona 3, 4, and 5 are also weird and a little creepy, but they're some of the most fantastically designed RPGs, JRPGs I have ever played. Like as a person that isn't into this kind of stuff, these games have blown my mind in terms of how fun they are. And in a way that doesn't feel like they're tricking you into making it addictive because the game is constantly evolving. It is constantly giving you new things, new characters, new people to interact with, new tools to use, new things to work towards. It's fucking fantastic. So if you want to play it, Persona 3 Reload is there's obviously Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can ignore 1 and 2, which are actually 3 games. I'm not going to get into it. I've played the PSP ports of 1 and 2. You can ignore those. Those were made in the 90s before they figured out before they figured it out. Persona 3 came out on the PS2, and then there was Persona 3 FES, which came out on the PS2, and then there was Persona 3 Portable, which came out on the PSP, and then there was Persona 4, and then there was Persona 4 Golden, and then there was Persona 5, and then there was Persona 5 Royale, and then there was Persona 4 Ultimax, and Persona 4 Ultimax X or whatever, and then Dancing All Night, the rhythm game. Ignore it all. Ignore it all. If you want to play this game, Persona 3 Reloaded, skip Persona 4 and wait for the remake, and then play Persona 5 Royale. Just those 2 games. Persona 3 Reloaded, Persona 5 Royale. Those are enough for now. Persona 4 is my favorite one, but they're remaking it, and if they remake it as good as they remade 3, then just wait. Just wait. It is a night and day difference. Okay? Okay? It's just so fucking good, though. Like, holy shit. And it's just like the music has no fucking reason to be this good. Anyways, yeah. The music has lyrics in it that are English, but are nonsense. So I think these Japanese composers want to make it sound cool, so they write these lyrics in English, and they kind of make sense. So fucking good. I'm serious. Even if it's not your thing, give it a shot. You will probably like it. There's slow burns. Persona 4 has an 8-hour intro, so just skip it until they make the remake because they turned the Persona 3 intro from like 4 hours into like 20 minutes. And then, of course, Persona 5 is the best one. It just is. I have yet to play their new game. So that studio made a new RPG called ReFantazio. I really want to play it, but I don't have. I'm not going to spend the money on it right now. That's a game I really want to play. And then the Metaphor ReFantazio looks great. How bad are they on the creepiness? It's very minor. And it's always from the perspective of you are a teenage boy and your friends around you are in high school, and so they're going to make comments about some of the girls. That does happen. But unlike most anime games that I've seen that pulls the fan service bullshit, they then punch the main characters in the stomach for being creeps. Like the girls will then stand up for themselves and then like, right. So there's like a moment in the game where you go on summer vacation and you and your guy friends in your group are hanging out on the beach. And the one guy who's like all talk and is not at all what he thinks he is, and he's very insecure, is like, we're going to pick up babes on the beach. Operation Babe Hunt underway. And so you, as this like second year high school student, are like walking around this public beach to different women, grown women, to try and hit on them. And they're all just making fun of you the whole time. And it goes really, really bad. So that's the kind of creepiness it goes. That's the kind of creepiness I'm talking about, right? Like, they are teenagers and they are creeping on people, but in like a realistic manner that you definitely experienced if you went to high school. And then the game kind of punishes the characters for doing that in the first place. But it should be stated, it still happens. Does that make sense? It's not like, oh, this girl is 800 years old, so it's okay. It's more realistic on how they portray it. You know what I mean? $2 from Amusement Ride Enjoyer. What are your thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's? I've never played any of them, and unfortunately I don't have any interest because I have a panic disorder, and I have no interest in it. What's your opinion on the Castlevania games? I really liked the one on the Game Boy Advance, because I played that one when I was like a young teenager, and I don't remember what it's called. I haven't played many of them. I've played the NES ones. I've played 1, 2, 3, and 4, Super Castlevania 4, all the way through. Well, that's a lie. I never beat Castlevania 1 or 2. I beat 3, but with save states, and then I genuinely beat Super Castlevania 4. But that was because I've always been like into retro games for as long as I can remember, and so most of my childhood and teenage years was spent going to what are called garage sales, looking for old video games and then just playing whatever I find. And I found all 4 Castlevania games at garage sales over the years. Garage sales are people just put shit out that they don't want anymore in their garage, and then they register with a newspaper to say, hey, we're having a sale here. They just put stickers on stuff. It's like $1 for this, $2 for this, and you just drive.
Deltarune stream when?
Sunday. My Garrett's coming over on Sunday. And so you just drive around your neighborhood looking for signs that are put out like at street corners and go, hey, there's a garage sale there. And you go to the garage sale and you look around. If there's anything you want, you just give them some cash and you walk away with it. A lot of my collection came from garage sales up until about when I was 20, when I had to stop. How bad are they? I already answered that. So, yeah, Deltarune Stream 1 Sunday. That's happening on Sunday. Do I own any manga? No. No, I'm not an anime guy. I'm not a manga guy. My wife was an anime guy for a long, long time, but we've both kind of grown out of it. And we've tried. Greetings from Japan. Yo. We've tried to keep up with some of the shows that we really like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece. They're doing the Fairy Tail 100 Years Journey manga as an anime. And then Dragon Ball Super, we tried to keep up with, $1.99. Can you help me understand lag range? I don't know what that means. So no. But no, yeah, so she loved anime through her childhood and teenage years, and she's the one that started me watching anime, and she's the one that, the first shows she showed me were Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Inuyasha. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like, I'm not an anime guy, but it's the same thing where it's like, I'm not an anime guy, but Persona is fantastic. I'm not an anime guy, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best television shows period. Like, it's fucking fantastic. So I would rewatch that. The problem is, it just seems like most anime, they're very handholdy, and they're trying to like pad for time, so they're constantly repeating the problem or answering their own questions or asking questions that the audience should be able to infer, and they don't allow things to just sit. So it's just annoying. We've got sick of it. Lately, we watch like period pieces. Like Electra's loves like 18th, 19th century Jane Austen style period pieces. Mr. Darcy, no, Mr. Bingley, that kind of shit. But yeah, most anime is just not, it's nothing, right? Yeah, but she started me on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I was hooked immediately. I remember I watched the whole thing in like a week, and I cried like a baby at multiple points through that show. And to this day, have never seen an anime that good since. I've constantly been chasing that high. Still have not watched that. Still have not seen a show that good. But I have seen other shows that are really good. It's just it's like trying to find a good anime is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, genuinely. Because for every Brotherhood, there's 1,000 high school DxDs that are just completely wasting your time, and you should just watch porn. Just watch porn. It's free. Just go watch porn. Attack on Titan is fantastic, though. Attack on Titan is one of the few shows that seem to treat the male and female characters equally and write the show in a way that's like genuinely trying to answer the question of like, okay, if this situation was real, how would humanity react? You know? And the first few episodes are brutal to get through, but then you get through it and it's like, oof, okay, that show's great. But most shows aren't that good, right? Even the most popular stuff may start really good, like Full Metal Alchemist, not My Hero Academia. I think the first few seasons of that are fucking amazing, but I think as the show has gone on, it's just not nearly as good. It's not very. It's just, you know. Have I seen Sacred Star Mio? Yeah, I've seen the original. I've seen both movies, and I've seen Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist is fucking fantastic. I have no interest in a live action. I saw somebody ask me about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I do consider that an anime, and I do consider that one of the best television shows ever made. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original Nickelodeon series, is one of the best redemption arcs I've ever seen in a story. And it's a perfect ending. Almost. Aang should not have ended up with Katara. Have I played RoboCop Rogue City? Yes. Thought it was great. What are my thoughts on Unfinished Business? Is that the DLC? Because I haven't seen it. Dragon Ball Daima? Is that the one where they're all babies? I have no interest. I thought Dragon Ball Super was pretty good, and I thought, okay, we're done. We're done, right? We're done. Like, okay, we had like the ultimate battle of all the universes. It took a while, but we're done, right? Of course we're not. Toriyama is dead, and we're still going. That's enough. $2 from Simo562.
I'm not sure if you've already answered this question before, so I apologize if you have. But would you consider the Gearbox expansions canon?
In part. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that really sticks out from the Gearbox expansions, those being Blue Shift, Opposing Force, and Decay, that really question the canon. Because in the canon, confirmed by Laidlaw, yes, Black Mesa got nuked. That did happen. Yes, Barney Calhoun escaped. That did happen. So, you know, like, yeah, I think so. I don't see what the problem with that would be. He wrote Daiyama. Wait, Toriyama wrote that weird chibi Dragon Ball show? Dude, I have seen all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, all of Kai, and almost all of Super. I skipped the stuff that were in the movies. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. Opposing Force is like the prototype idea for the Combine. In a way, yeah. What's the scoop about the Half-Life Marathon soon? Yeah, we're getting to it, but we're gonna start streaming much more frequently. And I think the only thing about Opposing Force that isn't canon is the Race X stuff. That's not canon. They never came back. Diama adapts GT ideas into official lore. Dude, you didn't watch the movies? I watched the movies, but then I skipped the episodes of Super that were just retelling the movies. Scrub Thillin. Shoutouts to Lego going full Nintendo.
Shout out to Lego for going full Nintendo
yeah.
on the Bionicle community.
What, shutting down that one game? God damn it. Yeah, speaking of Nintendo, I thought people... I have a lot that I want to tell you because I've been on break for like a week and I haven't streamed in a little while. And I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that I want to talk about. I don't like Nintendo's business practices. I think Nintendo holds some of the best artists in the game industry and some of the worst in terms of consumer-minded practices, business people in the entire industry. I think they are a horrifically entitled and anti-consumer company and should be seen as just as bad as your EAs and Ubisofts and Activision Blizzards in terms of how they treat their fan bases. So when the Switch 2 was coming out, I always told myself I was going to buy 2 of them, one to keep in the box and one to use, so that, you know, let's say anything were to be figured out about the day one model of the Switch 2, I have a brand new one in a box to be able to never have to support the company anymore. But then, $80 games. $80 games. When that was announced, I was like, I'm not buying one, and this is going to fail. Are you telling me that in the current economic state that everybody is in, people are going to be okay with $80 games? People aren't going to buy them. People are going to they're going to have to hold back, and you're going to see people react with their wallets. So I guess everybody is just incapable of self-control. And $80 games are just, that's the standard now. Shout outs to the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 is one of the best, if not the best, console launches in the history of the games industry. And so there is zero way voting with your wallet if everybody around you is going to constantly buy everything no matter what. It's according to Nintendo, it sold 3.5 million units in the first 4 days. So there's no reason for me not to buy one. Exclamation point tip in the chat, exclamation point donate in the chat. I'm not spending my money. If I hit a donation goal, then I will get one, and then I will make 2 videos. One being a series of videos that I'm already working on, but it'll become the next video. It will be about episode 3 and what the hell it actually was. I've heard people buying Switch 2 as an investment in appliances that will go up in price. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. So I have a video called Nintendo Doesn't Deserve Their Fans that I have been working on for like 3 years. And I've always been anxious to make it. And if I want to make it, I need a Switch 2. So there's that. And then also deep diving into what exactly episode 3 would have been from a mechanical level. Point of view. And then that'll be the first of 3 videos. And then the next one will go into what Half-Life 3 was in 2013 from a mechanical perspective. All of this being told through information that has been found through reverse engineering and data mining of previous Source Engine releases. And then the last video, which will be coming out soon-ish, everything known about Half-Life 3, which is the sequel to the documentary. So the documentary I put out, the history of Half-Life 3 or whatever I ended up calling it, was like that 75-minute video that went through the history of the game's public perception and ups and downs and stuff, and is the video I'm probably the most proud of, period. There's a sequel to that goes like, okay, so that's the history of the game. Here's what we know about the game. I don't think it'll be 70 minutes, but it'll sure as hell be close to an hour long. And the problem with making these kinds of videos, right, is that they take a really, really long time. I don't understand your logic at all. A video you've been working on for years, you supposedly need a Switch 2 for. Yeah, so I want to... How do I put this without sounding... I want to demonstrate some of the anti-consumer practices that have been pulled with the Switch 2 firsthand using the Switch 2. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I won't be buying Cyberpunk on the Switch 2. No. So, you know, I guess we're going to be fundraising for that shit. Nintendo has been bad for their fans for years. The Switch 2 is just catching up to Sony or Xbox, and they don't have the baggage of the Wii U behind them. I have a lot. Why work on a video you know might never get released? You don't create, do you? You're not a person who creates consistently, huh? No disrespect, but that's just the creative process, man. I've been doing this thing for... I've been creating YouTube videos, I have been creating things for other people to enjoy since I was 9 years old, since I opened the YouTube channel in 2006. 80% of the stuff that I work on does not come out. That is just part of the process. I have so many different things that I have put dozens of hours into that just didn't go anywhere and I wasn't happy with. And sometimes things get canceled because they become obsolete. So like it might be a deep dive into a thing and then that thing gets announced and the video is no longer relevant. Or like I'm just not happy with the direction that things are going. So like there was a video I was doing about the history of the Valve merch store a couple of years ago, 2019, I think, 2020. It was in 2019 because it was in the shack that I was working on it. So I made this big Excel spreadsheet going through each product that they ever sold officially on the Valve merch store, how much it sold for, if the price ever changed, when it was listed, as far as I understand, when it disappeared, how many versions of that were in stock, what is the current value of that thing if it currently exists on eBay. And the whole point was to show that, like, at one point Valve was very creative with their merchandising, but then, like, kind of just gave up and doesn't do it anymore. And it was also to be like, you know, please do more of this. But the video was so clinical that I was just like, this doesn't work. Like, okay, so I have all this information. How am I going to present it to the audience? Just read it. Like, here's a banner. This cost $17 and was listed in 2005. And it was just boring, right? It sounds like an interesting thing I'd rather read than watch. Exactly. Yes. So, you know, there's the F-Stop documentary, which has gone through, I think, 20 different people have helped me with it. It's still just kind of out there. It's still just kind of being worked on. I'm sure it'll be finished one day, but I have no fucking clue when, to be completely honest, because when the F-Stop documentary started, we knew fuck all about F-Stop. And that was the whole point, is that we, being me and a few other people, figured out, oh, it's this camera that you scale objects with. And that was like novel information when we started. And then now we know everything. Now the DLLs have been out there for years. And so it's taken on so many different... It was originally going to be split up into episodes, and now it's packed into one long thing. And, you know, that's just part of the process. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Yeah. That sounds familiar. But there were other Castlevania. I played 2 Castlevania games on the Game Boy Advance. Or maybe there was one on the DS. I'm not a massive Castlevania fan, but I'm also not against the series. Like, I saw the Civi video about Symphony of the Night, which I've never played. There's a lot of, like, classics that I really want to play, but I spend more of my time making content about video games or researching or working on content about video games than actually playing video games. And that was a big problem for a long time, and that's why I've spent more time. I have valued the experiencing of different content, different things more now than I used to, because it used to be for the longest time the only games I played was what I streamed, and the only things I streamed were Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead, Dota, Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat, Deathmatch Classic, Ricochet, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, Civi11 is one of my favorite YouTube creators. It has been for a few years, and it was Coolman that introduced me to him. Yeah, the curse of being a creator in any medium is that you usually spend a lot of time studying what you're making than actually enjoying it, 100%. Which is why when I do let myself take a break and, like, enjoy a video game, I get into it, which is why, like, I don't even want to be streaming. I don't want to come back to work. I want to play Persona 3 on my Steam Deck. That game's fucking great. The last time I really, really, really got into a game that had nothing to do with work was Red Dead Redemption 2, and that was a few years ago. So, $500 is a perfectly reasonable price to pay to experience Mario Kart 9. Well, I think $500 for the console and the launch title is not a terrible price given tariffs and given the current economic state of things. My problem is not the price of the hardware, it's the price of the software and how quickly the industry as a whole went, oh, we're doing this? And then we're just, okay, $80 now. I don't know how long-term that'll be able to handle, but I have learned that I don't know anything about the general public because it's like, okay, Mario Kart World looks cool. I'd love to play it, but I would have paid $80 for Breath of the Wild. Not that. So, and then also selling the Switch 2 in Japan for a much more reasonable price. It's like, what? And then region locking that system. What? Paywalling a button on every controller. What? It's just... Look. I don't know. The Switch 2 is cool, I guess, in terms of what it is, and it's in high demand. $500 for the console plus a game is fine. Because, like, I remember when I was a kid and the Wii came out. I was 9 years old when the Wii came out. I was massively into that. So
Do you have
excited
any
about the Wii.
theories on who the G-Man's employers are? I'm sure you've also answered this a bunch, so sorry.
It's Valve. That's my theory. I get in arguments with people about that, but I think it's Valve. So $249 was the launch price of the Wii. So $249.99 in 2006, November of 2006, brought up to now, is $400. So yeah, I guess it's a little expensive, but you know, Tyler, is the stream preparation for anything? Yeah. Been asking for the fifth time. How do you stop being insane about hyperfixation? Like, I need tips on being normal and not asking about Gamescom's tickets on the off chance Valve will do a thing. So Valve's not going to be at Gamescom, and I can assure you that. Have you decided to stream Half-Life on loop for no reason in particular, like in November of 2019? No. Let's imagine that it's like August of 2019. Okay? Now, don't one-to-one the ratio of that, but you know, word travels, and you know, word travels. So let's just say, you know, that it's time to start the hype cycle in this community. Okay. Do I think the canceled Machine Games project was Wolf 3? No, the canceled Machine Games project was a multiplayer game, as far as I know. So, no. Is it true the Half-Life art book is being reprinted? Yes. Raising the Bar from 2004. is getting reprinted and going to have new section added into it. I don't think it'll be out until after Half-Life 3 is out. HLX is out, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to start the Half-Life Marathon up for a little while. You know, but we're going to start it now, so you know how it goes. It's time to start the hype cycle. It's time to start the hype cycle. Yeah, we're still a ways off. But for everything that I want to do for the marathon, now's a good time to start, right? This is not like last time, because last time I started it when I was like, oh, we're weeks away. We are not weeks away. But is Tyler reading the YouTube chat? Yes, just not as much as the Twitch chat, because the YouTube chat tends to be a lot younger and a lot more toxic. Do you know something we don't? Yes. Will I talk about it? No, it's too identifiable. It'll get somebody in trouble. Isn't the Raising the Bar reprint supposed to be this year? Apparently, yeah. Will they hit that? I don't know. Would you snack on your own wiener if you could? Probably not. I don't think it would taste very good, to be honest. I eat a lot of crap. Any YouTubers similar to Civi that you can recommend? No one is like Civi. So people will say G-Man Lives. Very different vibes. I do not vibe with G-Man Lives. You know, to each their own, but G-Man Lives seems much more aggressive, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Civi, on the other hand, is far more chilled out about everything, in my, whatever, and puts more effort into each of the individual uploads, it seems. Do we know if the new Raising the Bar edition will include info about this iteration? We do not. Or Roarlocracy. Yes, that's like Civi, but for Fallout. They're good too. Yo, thank you for the new sub, new Twitch Prime. Remember, Twitch Prime is free. If you got it, use it. I do watch Warlocracy. I do watch that guy because I love classic Fallout mods, and he's like the only guy who talks about stuff like Fallout Sonora, which are great. Those games, by the way, will be on Time Travel Show one day. I recognize the name Civi. Civi is mostly known for boom shoot content, but also does Slavjank content. It's like almost I've heard in an interview he calls this like Channel Awesome, but for adults. It's cool. I just recommend I recommend it. I recommend it. Go check him out. Civi 11. They're great. He's great. Warlocracy is writing a book about Slavjank. I got introduced to Warlocracy after the video that he made about FO3. Which is a situation, like, I'm American. I don't know about some of this stuff. So it's really cool to have somebody, from the Eastern European space talk about Eastern European internet culture for a Western audience. It's very cool. Have I played the Half-Life Extended demo yet? No, I really want to. That's something we'll do. Too spoopy. Twitch Prime, thank you very much. Remember, Twitch Prime is free. If you got it, use it. Do you know when Div 3 update for RTBR will release? I don't. No. I could ask, but there's no point in that. Tyler, what are the chances? Okay, so here's the thing. First message, I appreciate that it's a Twitch message. Thank you. What do you think of the chances of a Half-Life game being announced this year? I don't know. I think that Valve is in the midst of deciding on that now. Right now, we're very soon. And we are, of course, every day we get closer, but like, yeah. Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition, an attempt to capitalize on the success of BG3. Is the release of Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition an attempt to capitalize on the success of BG3? Yes. Yeah, but most of the you're going to see a lot of like traditional CRPG development in the next few years because you had a bunch of developers probably try and get, you know, capital to be able to make these kinds of games. But yeah, so how are we doing?
Sending love from the big PP.
Ooh, Portal Person 99, 65 months. Love you. Genuine question. If and when Half-Life 3 ever launches, do you think it'll have the same effect it did? No. No, that's impossible. You can't have lightning strike twice in the same way. It will have an effect. It's just, unfortunately, the way that things work nowadays is that the first impression is the only impression, and so Valve needs to stick the landing at the top. And if any big video essayist makes a video about there being a massive issue with the game, then it's the majority of the people in the community will just constantly regurgitate and repeat that opinion. So it's a very releasing a big game nowadays is far more like a minefield than it ever was before, because there is an industry to capitalize on turning pretty much everything into a problem and then talking about that problem in really long, drawn-out essays, and then people kind of just not forming their own opinions and just kind of regurgitating what they hear from that. The thing is about Valve, right? They don't need this to succeed. They don't need it to succeed, whereas Half-Life 2 needed to succeed, right? So it's a very, very different situation. This is, let me put it this way. Half-Life 2 was being made to keep Valve afloat. Half-Life 3 is being made for Valve. Does that make sense? Half-Life 3 is being made almost entirely for Valve. Valve themselves. Which is a good thing, right? They're making the game that they would want to play. They're making the game that they've always wanted to have the opportunity to finish. Not to push the industry forward in any specific way, even though it might. You know, they're doing crazy shit with the game. But it's more to prove to themselves that they still can, and it's more to right a great wrong in like bring right a great injustice in the industry, and to properly steer the ship like in the right direction after the wilderness of the 2010s. It's not for us. We're going to love it, obviously, and of course, like, they want us to love it and enjoy it. But the main priority is that it's not for us. It's for them, right? It's a lifetime of HL3 when questions made right, because, like, you know, it's righting the frustrations. That's what it's for. And more so than literally any other company, Valve does not need the money of this project, right? GTA 6 apparently have cost multiple billions of dollars to create. They need to make that money back, right? Because GTA 6 as a single player experience needs to be incredibly successful, because it's a massive amount of money being put into this single player experience. Whereas 2K Take-Two has seen GTA Online pull in more money than they ever could have imagined. Elder Scrolls 6 needs to be good, or Todd Howard and his reputation and the company is in genuine trouble. I saw somebody make a point on a video that I hadn't thought of, but I agree with. I don't remember who it was. This guy kind of reminded me of like what Nakey Jakey used to make. But this guy suggested like why Elder Scrolls 6 needs to succeed, because what is stopping Microsoft from just opening a Fallout studio and an Elder Scrolls studio and like just not needing them anymore, right? So I saw that. I'm like, that's kind of an oversimplification of the situation, but it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's like, every hotly anticipated sequel that's currently in development, Test 6, GTA 6, and Half-Life 3, and I'm sure there are others, but those are the ones coming to mind. Half-Life 3 it has the least riding on it, if that makes sense, in terms of financial stability and business shit, right? It's more of a reputation project. Is reputational a word? It's more of a reputational-based project. It's more of a proving to oneself as a group, oneself plural, that this kind of thing can still be made, this kind of thing is still possible, and the individuals behind it are still capable of it. And it could be a failure, right? It genuinely could fail. This game could come out and we would all... It is absolutely possible that this game comes out and it's terrible. Like, it could be really weird and bad. And that's fine. They made this for them. I don't think it's going to be weird and bad. I don't think they would release it if it was weird and bad. But I don't think that this is being made to prove anything to the rest of the industry. I don't think this game is being made to set the standard for moving forward. I think this game is being made to prove to themselves that they are still capable of it, that they still deserve to be Valve software, right? Because they've had, you know, other than Half-Life Alyx, which was not a massive success because of the massive paywall to get into it, they haven't had many successes, many big things that really back up the kind of reputation that Valve has still been able to maintain over the last, 20, 30, I don't know how long it's been, 30 years, right? It's just, you know, what are you going to do? They're just doing it to do it. They don't need to, they would be fine. They do not need to make this game. Whether or not they make this game, Gabe Newell will go down in history as one of the most influential people in the industry, and still in a positive way. Like, Gabe Newell is a billionaire that the general public love. Do you know how weird that is? They don't need to make it, but if they make it and it comes out and it's great, even better. So, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. They don't need to do it, but they're doing it. And I think that's because they really believe in what they're making now. I mean, yeah, Gabe Newell made his billions off the back of video games and revolutionizing the distribution and ushering in the indie revolution. Like, yeah. Gabe Newell's reputation is what Elon wishes he had. I saw somebody say this in chat. Gabe Newell knows when to shut the fuck up and disappear. Gabe Newell is not about the fame at all. That just kind of happened. So, you know, and plus, you know, Gabe Newell is a recent billionaire and almost bankrupted himself in order to make one of the most important video games ever made. I'm glad they told that story properly in the documentary. You know, power to Danny O'Dwyer and Secret Tape, the No Clip guys, in doing this. You know, he almost went completely broke. Was going to mortgage his house to be able to pay for the rest of the development in order to see that game all the way through. That's nuts. Will Half-Life 3 push the boundaries in the same way as Half-Life 2? I don't think so, and I don't think that's possible.
Tyler, it's me, Danny O'Dwyer.
No, it's
here
not.
With an exclusive announcement of our next docu series, God is Dead, How Valve Murdered in the Valley of Gods.
Valve didn't murder it. That's an oversimplification and quite a dramatic way of speaking about what happened to that game. What happened in the Valley of Gods? They made Half-Life Alyx instead, and then people moved on to other things. Would you have rather had Half-Life Alyx, or would you have rather had Into the Valley of Gods? I liked Firewatch. I would rather have had Half-Life Alyx. $10 from Harris. No way Microsoft would replace Bethesda. I'm not saying that they would. I'm saying that they're not going to have Bethesda. Fallout 5 won't be released until I'm in my 40s. That's what if they continue letting Bethesda just be the one game studio. Right? But if that one game is Starfield every time, then what are we doing? Because we have these massive franchises that should not stand dormant. I think, okay, John in the Twitch chat, I'm not going to read it all out loud, but to respond to John, I think it'll be more cutting edge than we both think. I think that cutting edge-ness isn't going to be so obvious in the same way that like facial animations were and physics stuff was in Half-Life 2, because the further that you get through time, the more diminishing returns you get through the technological improvements. Like, yes, things can become more realistic, but it gets to the point where you really have to be paying attention for that realism to take shape. So like, even if, the material deformation and the liquid simulation and the thermodynamic-based simulation is as robust as it appears to be in the data mine, unless the game is entirely based around that and you have to use it to solve puzzles in a very interesting and visibly appealing way, a lot of people are still just going to see this as point and shoot, run, think, shoot, live, right? So, there are things they're doing that are really interesting, especially when it comes to NPC artificial intelligence, not like generative AI, but like artificial intelligence within the NPCs themselves to react in an unscripted way to their environments, and the physics-based interactions with different materials and surfaces and player input. Yeah, that can be cutting edge and that can be great. But the question then comes like, okay, well, will others follow suit? Is there really use for this? Like, okay, let's say it's the same thing with Half-Life Alyx. You set the bar. Is anyone else even going to attempt to reach that point? Or is it far more financially viable to just make Fortnite? They're making a game in an industry that has moved past this kind of game. When Half-Life 2 came out, you were still in a place where people were making Half-Life 2s left and right. Half-Life Alyx came out. We've maybe had 1.5 attempts to ape that game. Half-Life 3 will come out. It'll do some incredible stuff, I'm sure. But like, okay, who else is making single-player first-person shooters in this vein? Like, yes, okay, the difference is like Pancake versus VR and stuff like that. But like, okay, where are we going from here? Who else is doing that? What? Okay, so like Metro and what came out recently? Atomfall and Atomic Heart and like the big ones. They're cool, and they are definitely taking inspiration from Half-Life, but at the same time, none of them are Half-Life. They all have to have, like, okay, Metro is a good example. Metro is great, open world. It is not a linear story-driven set-piece thing at all. It's open world. Atomfall, interesting, open world again. Atomic Heart, not open world, but also not open world. And then I ask, like, okay, but then what about like the actual AAA spaces, like because we talk about how AA is dead or whatever, but AA definitely exists. Atomic Heart is a AA game. Atomfall is a AA game. Metro Exodus is a AA game. Half-Life 3 comes out and it's successful. Are you going to tell me that EA is going to put some single-player, first-person linear shooters in development? Microsoft is going to start development to things like that? I don't think so. So it's like, could it have an effect on the industry? Yeah, probably. But like, they canceled Titanfall 3. The industry, it doesn't have room for this kind of shit anymore, right? And I am concerned for like a guy that really likes single player stuff and doesn't play multiplayer like at all. Like, you look at the numbers of things, like the true numbers of things that they hide. More people are playing Gorilla Tag on the Quest. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I don't know. You need AA. You absolutely need AA. $10. Valve isn't an innovation company primarily. They're formula and standards company like Apple. First with game design, tech, then distribution. The pressure to innovate stalls them with Half-Life. That's true. That's true. So in the same, like, innovation in the way that they take ideas from other places, polish it up to a mirror shine, and then show what can be done. They set that bar. That is exactly what Valve is. Yes. You see, the current, yeah, the Metro VR game was very much inspired by Half-Life Alyx, but it's nowhere near as polished as Half-Life Alyx. And if you play Half-Life Alyx and then you play that Metro game, it's a jank fest. Whereas Valve would have polished it to the point where every interaction feels as natural as humanly possible. It's just, 20-hour single-player linear experiences don't exist much anymore. Doom: The Dark Ages is a standout. And so it's like, how long is Half-Life 3 really going to be? I don't know. Like, I don't think any more than 30 hours. I think Half-Life 3 is this is a speculative take. This is not based on any information. I am guessing, but I don't think Half-Life 3 is going to be some crazy 80-hour game. I think it's going to be as polished and as tight as possible, right? But the problem is, right? Anything that isn't imagine, okay, let's imagine that a game of a completely new IP comes out and it's like 15 hours long. It's really tightly designed and it's like 15 hours long. Do you have any idea how many fucking YouTubers are going to make videos before you buy? I ain't spending that much. Do you know what I mean? Ugh. How do you think the quality of GTA 6 will compare to Half-Life 3? That is apples and pancakes, my friend. I don't know. There's no talent in the industry left? That's not true. I don't know. It's just like the time has passed for Half-Life 3 to get the kind of industry respect that it needed. This isn't being done to set any stand. It's for themselves. So, I don't know. IDK, my BFF Jill. Exactly. 15-hour games are almost the thing you only see in indie nowadays. A 15-hour game with a $70 price tag will be met with YouTubers making videos saying the game was a failure. What were they thinking? Yeah. Any chance of a VR Alyx title to go with Half-Life 3? No. But yeah. I mean, we're gonna, like, I'm already expecting the people calling Half-Life 3 woke, you know? That's gonna be a thing. So you're gonna get people really pissed about that. Because you had people pissed that, like, you know, Alex was the main character in the last one. Well, I mean, you need to make point of contentions, otherwise, how are you going to make money as like a drama channel, right? Like that's it's your job is to make everything inflammatory. So what are you going to do? All right. Okay, so let's play some stuff. Let's play something. The Half-Life Marathon begins. How does the Ace Dead Pixel 48 months? It's like 10 years.
48
I'm not even
months.
that old.
That's like 10
So,
years.
I've been wanting to play Half-Life Extended demo, so why don't we just start with that? If you don't know what Half-Life Extended is, I don't really know either. I just know it's fantastic. Website blocked due to riskware. ModDB is currently on the Malwarebytes block list. Okay, well. So I don't actually know what Half-Life Extended is meant to be, other than it like remakes Half-Life 1 and extends out stuff. But we're gonna give it a try. All right. So what is a dono goal in so that dono goal, if we hit it, I will make the really difficult video that won't make very much money, going into the finer details of the mechanical development of Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Is this correct? You need to change the branch to Legacy. Oh, okay. What's your favorite Half-Life 1 scientist line? I can't hold on much longer. Ah! Maybe. Why do we always have to wear